you can only watch it for the first time once. It'll be interesting to see what we catch and what we don't.
Did you ever play the video game Mass Effect?
This is where Babylon 5 is becoming Babylon 5.
That was great. I love that.
100% completely accurate, definitive ranking of Babylon 5.
I love it so much.
We're officially into it, Jeff.
The year is 2025. The name of the podcast, Babylon 5, for the second time.
Welcome to Babylon 5 for the second time. What, are we crazy? We're doing a show where we're watching this not for the first time, but for a second time? What in the world is going on? My name is Brent, the crazy one Allen.
For a second, I thought you forgot your name. Be a great way to start. You're like, my name is...
Shoot.
Something. King Arthur. Me? I'm Jeff Akin. Brent and I used to be Star Trek podcasters. We watched Babylon 5 for the first time, and that changed stuff for us big time. Enough so, like Brent said, we're watching this for the second time because Babylon 5 is one of those shows that is literally two shows in one. There's the first time show, and there's the second time show. And it's awesome that you're here joining us for our second time through.
I really do feel like this is an entirely different thing doing this the second time around.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, listen, along with watching this the second time around, though, Jeff, just like we did it the first time, we are still searching for those sci-fi messages that we find within the series, because that's what we do. We're asking questions like, what is this episode trying to tell us? We're also reading JMS's own words and going, oh, that's what he was trying to tell us. See how close we got. And, we're looking for things like things to give us hope that things will be better in the future, mirrors to society, tell us how to be better human beings to one another. Now, that being said, warning to everyone out there, from this point forward, this show will be and may be and absolutely will be full of spoilers. We could talk about anything from any episode in any season, in any franchise, in any spinoff, in any book, in any comic book, in any extra source material, from anything throughout the entire Babylon 5 canon or not canon or whatever. So if you have not been through this great series for the first time yourself, we beg you, and we wouldn't normally tell you to stop, but we're telling you right now, do yourself a favor, stop listening to this. Go back in our catalog and join us for our first watch that was completely spoiler-free. Thank you so much to the folks out there who helped keep us spoiler-free. And then once you have gone through that, come back and join Jeff and I right here as we do the second watch, because we promise you guys are going to find a lot out of it too.
Absolutely, you will. We're watching By Any Means Necessary for the second time tonight. Do you, Brent, remember what you thought about this one?
My memory says that I thought fairly highly of this episode.
Yeah.
A lot of what I give this one a lot of flack, or not a lot of flack. I give it a lot of grace, because we also recognize early 90s sci-fi, season 1, season 2. We know it's not good. So I give it a lot of, the things that we would normally nitpick, just whatever. It's just season 1 stuff. But the episode I remember really enjoying. That was my memory of it. What I mostly remember is I loved how Sinclair solved the issue at the end. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, Jeff, I don't even remember what he did. Like, I don't know what he actually did. But what I know is that he outsmarted and outthought the other guy. And he came up with a solution that was unique, that was within the rules and all that sort of stuff. And this was the episode that for me defined and encapsulated who I think of Jeffrey Sinclair is when I think of him. And to the point where I'm kind of like, it's a Sinclair answer. It's Sheridan would do this is one thing that Sinclair would do. Like, this is the episode that comes from. That's my memory of this episode, Jeff. How about you? What do you remember about this episode?
I don't remember liking this one very much. I think that I got really hung up on the Zento and the Union storyline on this, as I'm pretty sure I shared it in the first time episode, but that was a big part of my world for a long time, was helping, negotiate collective bargaining agreements and stuff. And I'm like, this is not a great portrayal. Zento, who, which is just, that's epic. What's going on behind you right there. That is well done.
I love this. This might be my favorite one we've done so far. For the audio listeners, I have a different picture from the episode we're watching that sits behind me. Usually it's somebody who's like staring over my shoulder because it takes up like half my background. This particular one, I just wanted, it's Zento with super bugged out eyes looking all sorts of creepy. And he's staring right at me
So good.
the whole time.
So good. And I remember both of us, but myself especially, this is a thing I think we said multiple times. Oh, what? Jakar's like a religious guy all of a sudden? Where'd this come from?
That was this episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we caught it from so many people commenting like, well, of course he's a religious icon. How could you don't know everything about this guy yet? And you and I are both sitting there like, dude, we're 12 episodes in.
Right.
You haven't given us one clue that he's a religious icon or that he's a religious guy in any way, shape, or form to this point. No, you pulled this out of left field and you just happen to know where he becomes, which by the way, you know where he becomes? He becomes a prophet of his own dang religion.
Exactly.
Writing
It's
his
amazing.
own damn scriptures.
It's amazing what he becomes. But at this point, we're like, this is such a villainy thing to, oh, look how religious I am because I'm a man of very, the whole thing. So I don't remember having a very fond memory of this episode.
Well, Jeff, that's what you remember. This is what I remember. I went back and listened to our original episode. Would you like to know what we actually said about it?
Oh, yeah. I'm dying to know.
You and I both said the same thing. And I'm going to quote myself on this one. This is one that I would have loved to have just watched Star Trek instead. We did not like this episode.
I bet people loved it when we said that. They were all about it.
They lit up on us. Oh, yeah. I honestly, listening back on the second time, I kind of lit up at us.
Really?
Listen, guys, I know it was tough to listen to us go through it. Jeff and I have a rule. We're going to be true about where we are, but all I want to do is just be like, hey, listen, just stay with us. Stay with us. Also, we get it. Jeff and I understand. We really do it now at this point. Anyway, so yeah, neither one of us liked this episode really at all. The one part of this episode you and I both absolutely agreed on that we did love was Londo and Jakar. Because why would you not?
Exactly.
This is the episode where we get the gif of Londo going, doo, where he's waving his fingers from the elevator and the whole Jaquan Eth thing. And we're like, it stole the episode. And it was like the one good part of the whole thing. Now, Jeff, I went back and listened to everything. That's what we said. I know you've done some research. You've done some scouring of the Lurker's Guide and other sources and stuff. Did you find out anything interesting about this episode from JMS himself or someone else connected to the show?
Not a lot, actually. This one was pretty light. I've got at least one that I want to save for during the episode itself when it comes up, but there were two that kind of came up. One of them that I don't think we had any idea about this the first time around. Okay. But nearly all of the production crew appear in this episode at various spots.
Oh, yeah?
The guy yelling, "I say we strike," is the director, Jim Johnston, and John Flynn, and then it says Grail, was played by John Flynn, our director of photography. So it's kind of cool. And then this was actually written, close to being written by JMS. It was written by his wife.
Was it?
Yeah. And so he talks a bit about that. He says Catherine's last name is Drennan, and her full credit is Catherine M. Drennan, not Straczynski. She is my spousal overunit.
Spousal overunit.
And he says...
that's an accurate description, man. I got to tell you.
He says, absent a collaboration on a series of articles they did, they won't collaborate ever. In fact, he doesn't collaborate with any writer that works on his show. So those were pretty interesting. But that's kind of what we got out of the mouth of JMS this week. So it is
super important episode that's got to be really deep, right?
It has to be. It has to be. To be honest, I'm eager to watch it just because this has whet my appetite talking about it the first time and everything. So what do you say we do it?
Let's get into it.
Cool. It's all right. Well, you're that eager. You're that eager.
I'm getting.
For those of us joining us for the first time, the way this works is we're going to watch the episode right here, right now. If you're on YouTube, you're going to see the cut up version of it, the reaction-y videos, sort of a setup. If you want the entire unedited version, you can get that over at our Patreon page at patreon.com/Babylon5First. The number 5 and the word first.
And hey, if you're listening to the audio of this on a podcasting app, you're going to hear that reaction. And then you'll also hear Jeff and I on the other side. We'll meet you over there where we're going to share some new thoughts. We're going to talk about any new messages we've uncovered. And we'll talk about, certainly throughout the course of the episode, like how our viewing of this episode changes knowing what we know about how this story goes. So, Jeff, with that, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Real quick, what did he call his wife? His spousal overlord?
Over unit.
Over unit. Yeah. Spousal over unit. Interesting.
Yeah, a little DS vibe there.
Unacceptable. We have a very perishable cargo for Ambassador Jakar and must deliver it immediately.
I'll do what I can. Please stand by.
I could see them sneaking a lot of the crew into this.
This is
They
CNC.
need
Can you
lots
get
of
that Narn
extras
transported
that they don't
fairly
normally
quickly?
have.
Where the hell am I gonna get the crew? We're already up to our butts out here.
I understand, but you know how the Narns can be.
Yeah, I know. Slide her into Bay 8, then we'll see what we can do.
Thanks.
You know, Jeff, one of the things you and I discussed at this moment about this was the idea that she calls down and she's like, "Hey, can you do this?" And his first answer is, "No, I can't do this. Like, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Come on, I just need to, you know, I'm not demanding it. I'm just seeing if you can do it." And he's like, "You're really busting my balls. Okay, now here's how you're gonna do it." And we're like, "Dude, as overworked as you are, you're still handling it.
Yeah.
You are still handling. Now it may suck, but you're still handling it. Like, you know." And you had a really good response of like, you teach your people to do yes but or something like that.
Yes, if.
Yes, if. Yeah. So and it's yes, I can do that if you clear 3 more people out of here, or if you give me 30 more hours of overtime to pay my folks, or if, you know, I can do that, but here's what I need in order to make that happen. You know. But yeah, you talked about that particular moment right there.
You may proceed immediately to docking bay 8.
Just watching that moment, though, of the dock workers, they could use a process improvement expert come in, draw a spaghetti map and stuff, and really figure stuff out.
I'm sure that would help them a lot.
Computer, it's racing the transport.
No power transport. Do not start your engines.
That feels like such a, you don't do this under any circumstance.
I've got 2 people trapped in there. If you don't get off fast, they're dead.
Oh, and then they just died.
It was the dawn of the third age.
Yeah, this is out of left field. I'm sorry. There's like nothing here to say this is something he does.
And I say that, like, with us knowing where he went, watching these last, wow, that's reminiscent of the scene in Believers with all the candles there.
The light and the sky.
Dude, he looks so,
a sacred heritage.
Frankly, evil.
This is like,
he looks like Satan.
This is end level boss, like right here. He looks like Mumra from Thundercats.
Afraid the Jaquan Eth was destroyed in the accident.
My drugs.
Oh.
So in this moment, Jakar is more concerned about the Jaquan F
than anybody,
Than
people and his own folks. And
we have said all along that
the
the
ship,
dockside equipment
the
isn't up to
station,
handling
like,
the amount of traffic we get.
The computer malfunction might have been caused by operator error.
It's
Even
sacred.
if that were true,
you know?
what do you expect? My people have been forced to work triple shifts because we are understaffed in every area.
Ms. Conley, we're not here to
You know, I agree with you. I find it very hard to believe that she is a dock worker.
Yeah.
She always strikes me as still like a supervisor who's in like an office up on an elevated platform. Those are her people. She's their like direct supervisor, direct manager. So she's representing them.
Yeah.
But she still strikes me as management, as supervisor level type stuff. Like shift leader maybe, but still not a dock worker.
No.
I'm with you on that.
She's not hucking
Maybe
boxes
you are,
around.
but my government will want to know who is responsible for damaging our ship.
Then I suggest you start with your ship's captain who panicked and fired his engines inside the docking bay against my direct orders.
Now, don't try to blame this on us, Lieutenant Commander. We are the victims here.
You lost some cargo, Ambassador. Alberto Del Vientos lost his life.
So we're assuming that the Narn captain and anybody else on that ship
But what was our
survived?
captain
Yeah,
to do?
I think so.
His ship was placed in jeopardy through no fault of his own, and he reacted. And by Jaquan, I mean to see that we are compensated for the damage.
Have
Now,
we
if you
ever heard by
excuse me, I must
Jaquan
attend to
before?
a pressing
Yes.
matter.
No, not at this point. No. We hear it later, but all
We
of
hear it
this
a
is
lot
new.
later.
was
Yeah.
caused by equipment failure.
I do enjoy these early season things where they just get into
long before we can
the
get
nuts and
these things
bolts
online?
of the station.
Several hours at least.
I'm aware of that, Ms. Conley. And I've done everything I can to make the Senate understand we need an increase in the station's budget.
Yeah, you talked a little bit
mean
about
before
the
someone else
position that
gets killed?
Sinclair is in here, which I'm watching this through these eyes of what you said of Sinclair doesn't actually have any power.
Exactly.
The Senate has the power. He just has to relate what they're saying to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's the guy who's sitting right here, but he doesn't
Yeah.
He's just giving, look, here's what your money is and here's what you can negotiate with. Try to keep it as cheap as you can. But like he can't actually do anything
At all.
And that's the way that a lot of times this works with management in these negotiations. So
Truly shocking. If there is anything I can do to be of assistance, you will let me know, yes?
No.
he is just loving this, man.
There's no one who can have a Jaquan Eth delivered in time for the ceremony. However,
Swak.
according to
That's not what I heard him
No,
just
me
say.
either.
being
No.
on the station who has the phone,
Well, who is it?
Ambassador Malari.
What?
God, did you see? I love that. Oh, there it is.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Everything from Natat's little to that.
Uh-huh.
This whole scene might be my favorite scene of the first season.
All in the budget report, Commander.
I assume the news about the budget is leaked by now.
So here's the thing.
Station Business Channel.
They've been in negotiations before.
Wonderful.
They struck a deal,
We'll need to set up meetings
and the
with
government
business
just never
council
came through on their
with
deal.
And I better have
Yeah.
a separate meeting with Miss Conley.
That's a problem.
Spitting neutrons.
Big
Dock
problem.
workers got zip. No pay raise, no money for new workers, no funds for upgrading
As
equipment.
far as the Senate's concerned, they're bound by a government contract. They can't quit and they can't go on strike. Why give them anything?
Commander, we've got a problem.
Surprise, surprise. In other words, we have an illegal strike on our hands.
Illegal strike is not a strike.
Schedule is being revised. Please stand.
No arbiter is going to call it a strike.
Yeah, I can really see they need more extras than they typically have in a normal episode.
Stop it! Now, first of all, I don't want to hear the word strike anymore. We will hear everyone out, but let's take this one issue at a time, okay? Now, let's remember, let's try to keep a cool head.
Yeah,
during
Garibaldi
management
walking through here does not feel
negotiations.
safe for him.
No.
What do you want here?
Right.
Getting out of my way would be a start.
It's all right, Eduardo. Let him through.
Come on, Eddie.
And they're all crew so they can have lines and not get paid anything
Been
extra.
expecting you, Garibaldi.
Maybe you didn't get the message.
I've been tied up. I got a lot of sick workers here.
You think this is funny?
I like that response from everybody.
I don't.
We're as serious as a rip in a spacesuit, and we want the Senate and Commander Sinclair to know it.
By staging
You know,
an illegal
that's a
strike?
great line.
It is.
As serious
Sinclair
as
and
a rip in
Ivana
a
are career
spacesuit.
military. I don't expect them to understand.
The hell with your talk. You got people dying out here, Mr. Security Man. And Sinclair wants us to talk. What do you think we are, fools?
Well, there's no other way to solve it than to talk. Like, what do you think is going to happen?
Right? Okay.
Yeah, I'm turning on Del Vientos in real time. Hey, we have a solution we'd like to offer. We got to talk about it. What do you mean you got to talk?
His little brother Alberto was the one who was killed in the accident. He's taking it hard.
Things are changing on Earth and not all for the best. Look, you've made your point, and Earth Central will be made aware of your grievances. There's nothing
That was
else
a
you can gain
big-
by continuing the strike.
Big drop
send
right
my
there.
people back to work without some guarantees.
And I can't guarantee anything while you're on strike. If you just trust me.
It's the Senate who controls the money, Commander. Every time we trust them, we get kicked in the teeth. My father was shot dead during the 37 mining strikes on Ganymede. I have spent my entire life defending workers' rights, and I'm not about to stop now. You get us decent
Get it,
pay
girl.
and equipment and hire enough workers to do the job safely. Then we return to work. Not a minute before.
So this is one of the notes from JMS I wanted to bring up was they
Okay.
just talked about the Rush Act. So it says the Rush Act was developed during the Earth-Minbari War to deal quickly and effectively with corporations or unions which were being difficult or otherwise holding up the war effort. The Air Traffic Controllers Union would be a great example of the government doing whatever it felt necessary to resolve the situation. The law grants extraordinary power to resolve any kind of strike or union action which endangers the operation of a military base or other military operation.
You know, you and I had no clue what the Rush Act actually was. Like,
Yeah, at all.
we got enough of it's some legal thing that says that basically they can't strike, and it's what's going to give them legal precedence to go in and bust some heads. Basically,
Yeah,
that's all we could know. That's interesting to know.
it is. Because I feel
That's-
like it makes sense to me also that here we have this conflict going on, but especially at that time, and I think even now, corporations are like, hey, yeah, we'll help out, but we also need to make as much money as possible.
Sure.
And if we're not going to do that, we're going to get difficult.
Yeah.
Texas, Alan Shock in the chat asks, wait, does he know? Does it say where the name came from? It doesn't. He brings up Rush Limbaugh, but he brings up Rush Limbaugh in terms of answering a question that somebody else brought up. He doesn't say definitively that it's from that.
Burning them is incense. Name your price. Oh, you are asking for quite a sacrifice.
Londo getting one over in
But
Jakar. I don't care what
in the
Londo does
interest of
later is just
interstellar
great.
peace And friendship.
These guys are so good.
50,000 commercial credits in cash in advance.
That's it, out, please!
Of course. it's
Londo's
an
loving it. He's like,
The
yeah.
question is, how important is your religious ceremony to you?
Do you remember what Londo's next response is? After this?
No.
Should I tell you or just
No,
let you-
let's just let it go. Yeah.
Reports of an illegal strike by your Dockers Guild.
I have changed my mind.
Look at that look on his
The
face.
Jaquan
He's loving
eggplant
this.
is not for sale. What? Consider this a small, a very tiny portion of revenge for what you did to our colony on Ragesh 3 and to my nephew.
The two don't balance, man.
No.
Two don't balance.
I'll kill him with my bare hands by my pulse. There's nothing to stop me. Sinclair can only kick me off the station. He might even thank me.
I just want this the whole time.
Right.
What do you believe in?
Is this where we find out the
What's
10-year-old thing?
Too easy an
Or is
answer.
that later?
We all
What
believe
10-year-old
in something.
You choose your name and
greater
your
than
faith.
us.
Oh, that's much later. No, that's like
It's
season
just the
5.
blind
Okay.
forces of chance.
It's him and
Chance
a
favors
farewell
the warrior.
conversation between him and Sheridan.
Isn't there anything you can do to get a Jaquan Eth before the deadline?
Only one more thing, and I hate having to do it. But if that should fail, there's something I want you to do.
At your service, Ambassador.
Right, you want me to get my hands dirty? I am all about it.
I assure you, your guild is not being singled out.
I show you, your guild is not being
Sympathizing
singled
with
out.
your situation. I
I personally understand your feelings.
But the government must cut costs.
He's just still sore he didn't get the role of Ross in Friends.
Or
Everyone's
he didn't
feeling the
get,
pinch at home, as well
I don't
as in
know,
our
the
colony.
voice of William
Enough
Shatner in
money
the
for
animated
increased
series.
military spending on Babylon 5.
Babylon 5 is
Babylon
a
5 is
military
the military
against the hostile
installation.
alien governments.
Every piece needs to be overhauled, but we don't have the money or the manpower to do it. And if you won't do nothing about it, you can damn well get your experts to run those dumps.
If that's your response, you leave me no choice but to invoke the Rush Act.
Yeah, he's all about it.
Is that what you want?
Bring it
I
on.
suggest we recess for the evening. It's late and we're all tired. It's not a good time for big.
I like Sinclair's already got a
Sinclair's, yeah,
got a little
Sinclair's
growth.
tired.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps we'll have better luck ironing this out at a private meeting tomorrow. Workers always get shafted.
It's wild, like
time we're gonna
Sinclair's hitting this,
Londo,
things
we
are
have to
changing.
keep cool. We don't
Totally went
finish
over our
tearing
heads the
back
first
on
time.
We have a right to defend ourselves, Neoma.
But not with violence.
Beg your pardon, Commander. But if someone pushed you, wouldn't you push back?
I
See,
hope
people
we make more progress
push me all the
tomorrow,
time.
Miss Conley.
It's my job to
You
get
better
pushed.
tell that to Zento.
I'll meet with Miss Conley at 7 as planned. But if she persists in this illegal action,
Yeah.
the Rush Act will be put into force.
Zento's
Your
here to get the
troops
Rush
better be
Act, and
ready
he's
for
going
it.
after Sinclair also, right? That was the whole thing.
Well,
I've got
I mean,
friends.
this is a string of folks who are trying to
Yes.
supplant Sinclair on Babylon 5.
Mm-hmm.
I must speak to you immediately on a matter of the gravest importance.
Are you telling me this is about a flower?
Not just a flower.
Just a flower.
The very symbol of my faith. Those of us who can't be there must still perform the ritual at the same moment, a moment which is almost upon us. It is the most important observance of my beliefs, and it requires the Jaquan Eth.
And it doesn't
which
come
is
up
the highest
at
ranking
all
member of
ever
my
again.
faith on this station. It is my responsibility to provide. I'll make a major incident out of this, Commander.
I don't like threats, Ambassador, but I'll do what I can.
It's so fascinating watching this now, knowing that we watched it the first time, being so skeptical about Jakar and religion, but knowing where it goes, I can't think that it's a villainous thing. Like, I'm not capable of being like, oh, he's just being a jerk about this.
No. And you look at this and you go, this is who Jakar is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, despite what you got in your first 11 episodes, this is who Jakar is. And whatever you got in your first episodes, that's not a complete picture of who he is.
No,
This
it's
is just
his
a new
performative Jakar is what we've gotten. We got one glimpse of real Jakar with Catherine Sakai, and then
Yeah.
it's been performative, and then this
Yeah.
episode is real
Yeah.
Jakar.
And it's that thing that I talk about that I discovered while I was doing Beam Me Up with Matt, that when you rewatch early seasons, you don't see those characters through season 1 eyes. We're watching Jakar now as we saw Jakar in season 5.
Yeah.
We're watching Londo now as we saw Londo in season 5. We're watching Sinclair now as we saw him in season 3.
Mhm.
Like we're not looking at these guys through these eyes. And that's why doing first watches and having people, that's really important to actually give you real good, fair feedback of where you are
Yes.
in that moment. So, yeah, it's not all about robots blowing up, folks.
Nope.
Look,
We are
Two
dorks,
star.
though.
I can't
We
force
are.
you to do
That's where we
this.
got
In
the
the name
second
of
star.
interstellar
Yeah.
goodwill, not to mention peace and quiet on this station, I'm asking.
Look at that outfit. My God.
This
You don't have
Well,
to
that's
give
something
him
we
the
don't ever
Jaquan
see
as a
again.
gift.
No.
He's agreed to pay a rather steep price for it.
This isn't about money, Commander. This isn't about money, Commander.
Man, I'm pretty sure
All
I have
field
Christmas
police.
wrapping paper that looks
Carl
like
is
that.
only worried about losing face. None.
I think my great grandfather was buried in something like that.
Barbaric people
I think my grandmother's couch was wrapped in something like that.
still worshiping their son.
Oh, how convenient.
I'm sorry.
But Commander,
Commander.
If asking like a grown-up doesn't work, let me try whining.
Uh-huh. Give it a shot.
Same philosophy my daughter uses.
When are you going to start being reasonable?
I'm really enjoying
Unreasonable.
the way they're
understand why
using
you're being so
Sinclair to
difficult
bounce
this
through the stories. Like
Every
we're
other guild
feeling
on
it
the
with
station
him.
signed their agreement.
And we're
They
feeling the
understand
wear
that
and
our
the
government is
drag.
not a bottomless pool of money.
I don't care if they've agreed to wear bunny suits and sing the Hallelujah
He's all
chorus.
unbuttoned and
We're not
stuff,
putting
like,
up with
this
kind
is
of people
great.
From Earth Central any longer. Stuff it.
Stuff it. Look at that look on his face. He's like, yes.
Pander to these people anymore. I'm invoking the Rush Act as of now.
You can't do that without Senate confirmation.
I'll have it within the hour. Expect Mr. Garibaldi's
Within
people
the
to be
hour.
ready to arrest Ms. Connolly and any other worker who persists in this illegal activity.
I think he's the worst guest actor out of the three.
You think so?
Oh my God. I'm really seeing Connolly in a different light than I did the first time.
Are you?
Like, I still don't buy her in her role, but like I'm seeing her as being more reasonable.
Here's what I want you to do. Keep an eye on Ivanova.
They'll have to
All right? Watch her reaction the whole time.
Okay.
Commander, this creature is a thief. I demand you arrest him at once.
call me that again.
She has a little connect there with Sinclair.
This barbarian has stolen the statue of our god, Brutarian, from the
I'm going to try to
Sinclair
narrate this for our
culture.
audio folks a little bit here.
Many witnesses for several hours. I have
Oh God.
She just gave Sinclair like a chill.
But on your order,
Chill.
fed up with your fabrications, Molari.
Commander, do you have a comment on this?
I demand you arrest him.
I demand you arrest him.
That's enough.
Oh,
Little oop.
Ivanova had like a oh.
All of you.
And now she's like, well,
Now.
you've done it now.
Lieutenant
Look at this.
Commander Ivanova,
I love
10
that
seconds.
move right there. She's like, you know, whatever. She looks at the reporter and is like, get out of here.
Yeah. You
Like she tries to give her a civil, like,
she's got her hands
Get outta
together
here.
folded, and she's like, yikes, go.
this is about to happen. And Sinclair is about to issue the order and Ivanova's ready to go.
You will escort any unauthorized person still present to the brig and leave him there.
She's like, oh yeah.
10, 9, 8, 7,
Ivanova's awesome.
6, 5, you are impeding the warrant's right to know, Commander. 3.
2, 1.
So this
She looks like she's about to slap him.
Yeah, in
when
that
he
moment.
walks through the door. Because you know what she's doing here though? She has her commander's back.
Mhm.
She has, she knows Sinclair's running ragged.
Yeah.
She tried to intervene between him and the other folks, and she's like, "You better get out of here because this is not going to go well." And when Garibaldi comes in, before she even realizes it's him, she's about to because she's got Sinclair's back. I love this in her.
Yeah. And she's got his back because he has hers.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
implicitly, hey, she's going to take care of you. This is going to happen.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, this scene and then the scene on the Zocalo with Londo and Jakar might be two of my favorite scenes in the whole series. This is so
Like
great.
I demand you arrest him. I demand you arrest him. I'm going to file a protest. I'm going to file 2 protests.
So great. Oh my
They're
God.
just trying to see whose tentacle is bigger.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
And everybody around Ivanova, this had to have been a blast to film this scene.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Going full bore is so good.
Commander.
Imagine what would happen if we
Welcome,
actually had
Senator
5
Hidalgo.
seasons of this, of those two together.
Right? For real. Although I wouldn't trade it, but still.
You are ordered to move in with your security troops and end it now. No negotiations, no delay.
What you're asking can only end in violence.
I know that, and I fear that's exactly what some people are hoping for.
You know, the senator,
Picture people.
the senator is weird to me
Yeah.
because on the one hand, you hear him and he just sounds like he's just a bureaucrat. He's all up in the Senate's business and is for the Senate and does what the Senate's wanting to do. And he just doesn't give 2 blips. And then in the next breath, he's like, actually, I'm for you. Like, and you get, why is this guy the messenger?
Yeah.
Is it because he oversees something where Babylon 5 falls under his like personal overview?
There's an oversight. There's a Senate oversight committee for Babylon 5. So.
Right. And so he's like the chair of that, or he's the liaison to that, or whatever. And it's like he has this relationship with Sinclair that's more personal than it is just professional. And he's like, hey, you got to do this. You got to do this. And God, listen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you got to do this because this is where we are. And he's convinced. And I think we should do this, but you've got to do it this way.
I didn't read it that way at all.
He's just in both worlds. And I don't know what to think of this guy.
I think he's in one world. I think he's in the world of, I'm a politician. I'm going to get the things I want. And so earlier he's like, knock it off. This is what you have to work with. Go do this. But now that things are getting escalated and bigger, he's like, I mean, I trust you to do what needs. Literally 20 minutes ago, you told me to back off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just playing both sides of the coin. Oh yeah, this is where the Sinclair pulling a Sinclair starts. Give me the full text.
Replacement workers are already reporting to launch centers on Earth and Babylon 5 security forces.
Going down.
Wait, did you just hear that?
Huh.
Replacement workers are already on their way to the docks on Earth to head out to Babylon 5.
Yeah.
So you have more workers available that are ready to come right now. They're available and you're going to send them and we're going to come arrest these guys and we're going to bring these up. Like, wait a minute.
Well,
like,
the difference is there's net zero impact financially. We're going to stop paying these people because they're on strike. We're going to pay these people probably less than what we're paying these other people.
No.
Scabs?
You don't bring in replacements like you. Well, I don't know. You have more here's what in the worlds that I work in, right? Which is more blue collar or more white collar than blue collar. I'll admit, but I imagine but I know unions and how they work.
Mm-hmm.
If you call me to go do a special assignment over there, I'm getting twice the amount of money that I would
but they're not calling a
doing it
union.
here.
They're pulling up people who aren't skilled workers, who they've got like they could be prison labor, they could be something.
Maybe.
Yeah, they're throwing bodies at this just to have scabs go in and keep stuff moving. They're going to save money. They weren't ready to go and add more people to pay more.
Yeah.
But I want to call this out right here.
Mm-hmm.
And Sheridan brings this up during the Earth Civil War that, he talks about we don't want, the Earth Force doesn't want automatons. We don't want people who just blindly follow orders. And what Garibaldi's been tasked with here through Sinclair, through the Senate, is to take his people and go fight this. They don't believe in it. And like have every reason. And it's not just they don't believe in the order. This isn't valid. Like they're declaring the Rush Act on false pretense.
Mm-hmm.
I think a thing we forget about as people is there are more of us than there are of them being the people in charge. Just because a bunch of people sitting in Geneva having no idea what's going on say, go kill those people. All you have to do is say, no, and it stops. Like it stops. You don't have to be like, oh, it sucks, but let's go shoot these people.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we had sci-fi teaching us this back in the early and late mid-90s, maybe the world would look a little bit different right now.
Because what you're saying is that sometimes governments issue orders that are not legal.
Well, I'm going to go further than legal because the law is words. They're not ethical, right? Just because a law is a law, we've talked about this before, right? Doesn't necessarily mean if it is an unethical, unmoral act, if it is a law to kill people because they're different than you don't do it. That's not an ethical law, right? But the thing is, we do.
I mean, if you get, let's say, illegally fired,
mm-hmm.
meaning you lost your job, but not through the means that you're supposed to have to lose your job. You can lose your job. That's fine.
Yeah.
But there's a process that works, and this does not go through that process.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been notified you're fired. Do you show up to work the next day? Did you really get fired?
Yeah.
Can't you just be like, yeah, you didn't do this. This is not how I get fired. So
right.
No, I'm not fired. I'm still here.
Yeah, you said a thing, but none of the things that need to happen happened.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You don't.
I don't want
just
to get
have
into all that right now, but
yeah, I'm just gonna say you. I'll put it into the show terms. Garibaldi and Sinclair don't have to do what they're being told just because they're being told.
Yeah. Even when they're told that they have to do it because they're being told.
Cool.
Do you think? Because we talk a lot about pulling a Sinclair.
Yeah.
Do you think Sheridan would do this, or would Sheridan be like, "Take a hike, Hidoshi"?
I think Sheridan would walk the line that Sinclair walks here.
Yeah.
I really do. Until they're disbanded from Earth, and then they're like, well, we're not with you anymore, so
right.
screw you.
Yeah.
And I think Sinclair would be, I think an episode we would see about Sheridan in season 5 would be him being on the other side of this, now running the Interstellar Alliance.
Ooh, yeah.
Where he only has so much money and he is in control of that to execute certain things. And I mean, we did see that. We did see that, Jeff. We saw him in early episodes of season 3, late episodes of season 3, trying to run the station without Earth Force money. And there were things that they had to do that wasn't great. Like, I don't know, kick Lita out of her quarters.
Yeah. Go bring a bunch of raiders and criminals in and figure out how to run a black market.
Yeah. We got to do what we got to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Come to do your master's bidding, Garibaldi?
Come on,
See?
Naomi, you know why I'm here.
Yeah, maybe you're looking for an honest job.
I'm gonna ignore that. I have to place you and your people under arrest. Don't make me do it the hard way.
There is no other way.
Ben says that
So
Sheridan
get to
would have
it,
just
or
nuked
get out of
everybody.
Yeah. Del Viento's threw the first punch.
Garibaldi's hugging up on Conley, though.
It's his third favorite thing in the universe.
Zento, if you and Miss Conley will please join me.
Look, Sinclair's all buttoned up, shaved,
Yep,
like
because
he's go. Notice the other thing here. Notice with the kind of confidence and authority that Sinclair is moving right now, because he knows what he's doing. Like he's got this figured out. He is moving with a purpose and a sense of control that we've not really seen him in this entire episode.
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
And to your point, buttoned up, shaved, like
he's ordering people to do what, you know, he's going to walk right into the lion's den right here.
I like that moment too, because he's like, I'm confident. I'm also a little scared out of my mind, but we're going to do this. Soundtrack's working hard. It's doing a good job here. Just underneath.
I like that person in the ADR room going, brr, brr.
Under the Rush Act, the Senate has empowered me to end this strike. I'm authorized to use any means necessary. Correct, Mr. Zento?
Yes, any means necessary.
Say it again.
I am reallocating 1.3 million credits from Babylon 5's military budget to begin necessary upgrades of all dockside equipment and to start hiring additional workers. Two, I am declaring a complete amnesty for any striking worker or guild representative who has committed no other crimes during this period.
Well, Del Viento's threw a punch.
Can't do this.
Yeah.
You're right, I couldn't. Until you convinced the Senate to invoke the Rush Act. You should never hand someone a gun unless you're sure where they'll point it. Your mistake.
I like that line. Didn't really fit in this particular situation, but I like that line.
Incident earlier, with Mr. Garibaldi's approval, no charges will be pressed.
Okay, they addressed the Del Vientos
I figured
thing.
my people are willing to call it a fair fight if yours are.
Shake his hand. Shake his hand. There you go. Okay.
Let's get back to work!
Yay, we can work.
You know damn well you twisted the intent of that order, and you won't get away with it.
There's the eyes. That's the eyes.
Said it best the other day. Stuff it.
I underestimated you, Commander.
I ran a check on the Jaquan F and discovered it had a chemical composition which makes it a controlled botanical substance, illegal to possess except for legitimate medical or religious purposes.
All right, Commander. You may have the Jaquan F.
Thank you, Ambassador.
I have already gotten my enjoyment from it anyway.
So when we watched this the first time, Jeff, I was particularly impressed with Londo in that moment.
Okay.
Where this whole episode, he's just sticking it to Jakar every bit. Jakar steals his statue, and Londo's like, now wait a minute. You're gonna bring this back. Finally, Sinclair's like, give it back to him. He's like, yeah, that's right. And then Sinclair does the same thing. Like he reads the rules, looks at it, and makes a call, solves the issue. And Londo, what did he do? He didn't fight. He didn't pitch a fit. He didn't act like an imbecilic 2-year-old. He was just like, okay, you can have it. Besides, I've already gotten all the happiness out of it I could ever want. Because what is it he really wanted was just to screw with Jakar.
That's all he wanted.
That's all he wanted was to screw with Jakar.
He even got on the way out with that. I already got it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just, that's a dude who's in control, like Londo played Jakar through this whole episode. Like a fiddle.
Here's what's wild though, just to play it out, because that defines so much of their relationship. They don't really care. They just want to mess with each other. And what that leads to is Jakar losing an eye, Londo becoming emperor. Like these horrible things happen to them because
Londo
they stay.
getting a keeper.
Yeah, getting a keeper on him. These horrible things happen because they've stayed within half an inch of killing each other for all this time.
Yeah. Dude, that's the equivalent of like unbuttoning that top button on your suit.
Yep.
I'm going to bed.
Nia called it out in the chat. She's right. Different length of years. Our years are different. So yeah.
Put it through.
You have made new enemies. If I were you,
I feel like this is something that should have come back much later.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
the most popular person.
I imagine it was meant to. Eyes was the first piece of it, but
yep.
It's probably supposed to be.
But you feel like that's something we should have gotten through season 2 and season 3, and what was going to happen.
Like me even led to a face-to-face with Clark, right? Just like, we've been after you this whole time.
The gift of life.
Oh look, now he has followers.
Oh, he's
Or
the
not
highest ranking,
followers, but
highest ranking religious figure on
Gift
the
of wisdom.
station. So.
He's an ambassador. That's not a religious figure, Jeff.
No, he said that. He said, I am the highest ranking religious person on this station.
For these things we are thankful.
Yeah, I'm not capable of seeing him as a bad guy right now. Like, I cannot see it.
I love that he's doing this for 7 people.
Just let it keep going. They're like,
I
wonder how much that he just says just sing, man. Just go. Just chant. Do your thing. All right, Brent, we've just watched By Any Means Necessary for the second time. Had quite a few conversations on the way. Is there anything you want to bring up now that we've gotten through it?
You know, Jeff, a couple episodes ago, you and I decided to sort of switch up a little bit of how we do this whole thing where because now the audio folk are also getting our reaction piece where they weren't before, right? So pretty much what we talk about in the episode, everybody's already heard. And I don't want to rehash all of that here. I feel like I've said everything I really need to say about this episode. I feel very much, let me do this. Compared to how I felt about this episode now, back then, how do I feel about this episode now? I don't mind this episode. I don't hate this episode. I enjoyed getting through this, especially knowing where we were going. I enjoyed this watch. Maybe it's just because I had better company this time.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes that changes everything. You and our council chambers, ultimately our folks out on Patreon and YouTube as well, and the audio listeners. But, I don't mind. Like if I were to hear somebody come in and just crap all over this episode, I might be like, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. Like there's some really good stuff in here. Also, this is the first instance of real Jakar that we ever see.
Exactly.
And I know that. They may not know that, but I know that. Instead of going, where's this Jakar? This is out of left field. We've never seen this before. Yeah, but it actually is kind of like this. Yeah. Listen, can we just call it what it is, Jeff? Well, maybe this is how Jakar was always planned to be. I don't know. Or this is what we call in our good old sci-fi circles a retcon.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go in this direction with Jakar. That's okay too. Let's just call it what it is, right? Because he was not a religious figure in episodes 1 through 11.
No.
Or 12, whatever number.
Well, I don't know, man, because
No.
I keep going back.
Don't go back and defend it now.
I'm
Don't go
going
back.
to.
He was not.
No, he was not religious, but he was philosophical, spiritual.
Sure. Yeah.
Being religious wasn't. In fact, I want to imagine, because when we first see him beginning the days of Jaquan over, we'll call it, or Jaquanadon. We're going to call it Jaquanadon. He was in his quarters alone with the door closed. I don't think he wanted, this isn't a part of his personality and stuff he wanted out there. He's celebrating Jaquanadon with 7 people at the end. Not a big congregation. This is Jaquan keeping himself close to the vest, but because of the loss of the F, and then Londo being amazingly horrible in this thing, it had to come out. In fact, it almost adds another layer to everything we saw in this episode. A layer of exposure, vulnerability, maybe even humiliation to a point that he wasn't prepared to have out there. I don't know.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I think this was something that maybe even now. Here's the thing: is it possible that Catherine, being JMS's wife, had some discussions with JMS and knew, or was this even in the Bible of where G'Kar was going to go, and she decided to pick up on this, or did she insert this into G'Kar's character for this particular episode? Because I'll still say Londo and G'Kar was the best part of this whole episode.
So much so,
you know. But I mean, I enjoyed watching Ivanova during the whole CNC sequence there, which I did not see the first time around. No. You know, she was acting her butt off back there in little nuanced ways you just wouldn't see, you know? So I actually quite enjoyed this episode a lot more than I did the first time around. And I still love this, it's the Sinclair answer, the Sinclair response, the Sinclair method, whatever you want to call it. There it is. And I love it. How about you, Jeff?
I enjoyed it more as well. We were stuck on Kemmer versus Connolly the first time we watched it. We talked last week about Kemmer not as bad, you know, when you take in a lot of the character choices. In fact, we just watched an episode of Stargate SG-1 the other day where we had this conversation about things that on their own seemed really weird, the acting choices, but then it all came around. It's like, oh, okay, that was actually brilliant. I was very impressed with the actor's portrayal. In this one, like I kind of get, like, we got Kemmer, and here Connolly wasn't great, but I don't see her being as offensive or whatever as it does. But Zento, wow, that guy was awful.
Yeah,
I was so bad. Just his face,
my name is Snagglepuss, huh?
We're going to invoke the Rush Act. Exit, stage left.
Right.
So bad. Right. But it didn't ruin the episode for me. I think
you're right. It didn't. Yeah.
I want to say that it did the first time. But to your point, the Londo and G'Kar stuff, and we enjoyed it so much the first time, but knowing where it goes, my God, this was
makes
good.
It that much better.
Yeah.
Just makes it that much better.
Absolutely. Did you pick up any new messages that we didn't really dive into the first time around?
Jeff, we dove into everything the first time around. So no, nothing new that I saw out of here. I'm trying to think, is there something in Ivanova? Like, what are the new things I saw in this episode this time around? The Ivanova thing in CNC. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's something there about having your back. Yep. Ivanova has Sinclair's back because he has her back.
Yep. That's huge.
And we've seen that. And Ivanova's not just trying to power trip up. That is something. She's not just trying to power trip up on him, because she's looking at the girl when Sinclair's about to go off, and she's like, yo, you need to go before now. And then once Sinclair goes, she's just like, and like, there's a moment she looks at Sinclair and she's like, dude, chill.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I see the vein in your forehead. Chill. Like, she's trying to help him. And then as soon as he goes, she's like, okay, let's go, guys. We're out. You know, and she almost hit Garibaldi when he comes in. So yeah, maybe there's something there, but I don't know that I have anything new. How about you, Jeff?
I don't remember talking about this one, but I noticed, I'm going to steal one of your words, a beautiful juxtaposition between the two stories in this one.
Okay.
As it was wrapping up, right? So Garibaldi and Del Vientos, you know, they're like, hey, you punched me in the face. I'm not going to press charges. You call it a fair fight. I'll call it a fair fight. There's so much value in letting bygones be bygones when justice has been served. And this gets back to the thing we talk about so often, justice versus vengeance. In this case, neither Earth Force, well, the B5 represented Earth Force, nor the dock workers wanted vengeance. They're like, justice has been served. We're good. We'll move forward. Done. You put Londo and G'Kar in the council chambers, and Londo says, yeah, all I want is my statue back. That's it. And his head on a platter. There's no justice he's looking for, just vengeance.
Hey, but here's the thing.
He doesn't mean it, but
no, he's just trying to get a rise out of G'Kar.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, maybe he really does want to see all Narn
right
heads on platter. Like, that may be something true, but in this case, he's just trying to get a rise out of G'Kar, because that's all he's been doing the whole episode.
The whole time. But how often is this the case, though? Where you're like, hey, here's a reasonable solution to the problem, and one person is like, oh no, I need this thing to happen too. It's like, no, here literally is justice.
Here's a thing. Okay. Londo, true or false? Londo is playing Jakar like a fiddle.
Oh, strong true. That's big true. Yeah.
Okay. Don't let people do that to you. Jakar allowed himself to be played.
Yeah.
He did. He allowed himself to be played. I mean, I have this conversation with my son all the time. Because, tell you what, you can, my boy can take it, or my boy can give it, but he can't take it.
Right.
I love the kid, but he's 12 years old. He's still learning and figuring all this stuff out. I'm like, dude, your friends and stuff get on you because of how you respond. Like, they're just messing with you, dude. They're just messing with you. Like,
right.
Oh, they're bullying me. No, they're not. They're just messing with you, dude. Like, trust me, that's not bullying yet.
Yes.
Now, when it crosses a line, I'll let you know, but that's not it yet. Please don't send me emails, folks. Okay. Look, just stop. It's okay. Yeah. He's fine. You don't know all his stuff. It's okay. Trust me, a kid's big enough to take care of himself. He's fine. Any messages to consolidate to put into words though out of that?
Yeah.
Just to put a bow on this conversation.
Don't seek justice, not vengeance.
Okay. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one. Sometimes messages are hard to pull out, Jeff.
They are.
You know what's not hard to pull out though? Our ranking. Our 100% completely accurate and definitive ranking of Babylon 5 Season 1 for the second time. Jeff, my friend, you get to place this one. Our current top 5, although we've got, a hearty list going at this point, but our top 5 right now, number 5 is Born to the Purple. Number 4 is Parliament of Dreams. 3 is A Sky Full of Stars. 2 is The War Prayer. 1 is Deathwalker. Jeff, does this episode crack the top 5 for you? If so, if not, where does it go in the overall ranking?
Well, I want to consult our first ranking here, just because I'm feeling I'm pretty sure I know where I want to put it, and I want to see how far off it is.
I think you should place it first before you look it up.
Do you? Because I already know where I'm putting it.
Then you should place it, and then let's look it up and see where it goes.
I don't know, man. I think
don't let one influence the other, man.
No, I already have my choice made.
Then you should. Okay, whatever.
I don't want to tell you yet. Is the
you know
thing.
what? I will trust you to know how to run this next segment. Go ahead.
Thank you.
I'm gonna sit here and shut up.
I got this.
I want your head on a platter.
Okay, so where is
like
this
a fiddle,
even,
folks? Playing him like a fiddle.
Oh my God, this is
maybe a ukulele. What
okay.
now?
So this is kind of fascinating.
Okay.
I really felt like where I was going to put it was going to be quite different. I want to acknowledge right up front that, no. Actually, holy crap.
Just tell us, Jeff, what is it?
I'm so fascinated by this.
I'm on the edge of my seat over here. I have no idea.
That's kind of the plan. So we put this one the first time around. We ranked this at number 11.
Wow, it's a lot higher than I would have thought given how we felt about this episode. Exactly. Although I will remind everybody, when we did our season 1 ranking, we did it at the end of the season.
Yeah. All
together. We didn't do it as we went. I like we're doing it right now.
And so if we look at the other episodes we've watched here, above it, we have Deathwalker.
Yeah.
Yep. And Believers. Believers was number 10. So essentially at this point.
What?
Yeah.
We didn't wait. We didn't put War Prayer or Sky Full of Stars in the top 10.
War Prayer is there, and Sky. Wow, you can tell how on top
Born to the Purple, Parliament of Dreams, Midnight on the Firing Line. None of those were in the top 10.
Parliament of Dreams was 13. Born to the Purple was 15,
and this was number 11.
Number 11.
What?
So let me restate that. Above it was Deathwalker, War Prayer, Sky Full of Stars.
Yeah,
and Believers. So if we were doing this in time, it would be number 5.
Okay.
For us.
Yeah.
And right now, Brent, it's number 5.
We have proven time and time again, Jeff, our original ranking is the correct ranking.
Isn't that incredible?
Like, I don't think we have deviated too much from our original ranking at all.
So far, not at all. Even Believers, we ranked high before, and I thought I was kind of surprised by it, but no, we were right on. Look at us.
That's crazy to me. Where'd we put Mind War? Where'd that wind up?
Let's see. Mind War.
Is that low? That's probably real low.
It is quite low. It's number 20.
Where was Midnight on the Firing Line?
16.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. You know what? Maybe our opinion changed on this episode like real quick post. Because season 1 isn't that bad.
It's not. Season 1 is really...
Like, if you were to listen to how we talked about this episode the first time, then we said this is the 11th best episode. Season 1 is not that bad.
Exactly.
Okay.
Pretty wild. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. There it is. Number 5.
Yeah, there it is. Well, Jeff, that's going to do it for By Any Means Necessary. Next week, we got, well, I can't say it's a brand new show. We've already seen it. New episode on deck, but we've got one we're going to watch for the second time again. Jeff, this is a big one. This is a big episode. This is the one that the chapter is named after, right? Like the season is named after, right? Signs Importance. We're watching Signs Importance. Jeff, true or false, you have not watched Signs Importance since we did our first watch through.
That's true. I have not watched it since.
Me either. Okay. Because if you're going to watch one again, this would be one of the ones I think you would want to watch.
Yeah.
Like,
there are definitely parts of this I am really eager to watch and see again. So
I feel like, so this is an episode that I know JMS has come out and said like, hey, from season 1, here are the episodes you need to watch. And there's only like 4 of them. And he named Signs Importance as one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember why, like my memory of this episode, I'm not entirely sure why this would be so important to watch.
What's the first mention of the shadows? It presages the blow up of Babylon 5 that we
meet Morden in this one, right?
We meet Morden in this one.
But see, I don't think you need this episode to understand what happens with Morden in the coming seasons.
I think you do, because why is he working with Londo?
Maybe.
Like so many foundational things get set in this upcoming episode.
Maybe. But you know what doesn't matter at all? The whole Eye of Centauri Prime.
At all.
And
not even a little bit.
The stuff that this episode is actually about, not a thing. The things you would think that were important.
Yeah. You were bringing that eye up well into the 5th season.
You know why? Because that Lady Morella was like, I was convinced when she's like, don't pluck out the eye that can't see or whatever. I was convinced it was that Eye of Centauri because I thought that was like the thing. And I'm really sad we never saw it again because we should have seen it again. At least if Londo had that thing in his possession, that should have been the thing that he used to justify his ascension to the emperorship and to the throne.
Look what I got.
Or they used it against him to force him to take on the emperorship and he didn't want it.
You have the eye.
But you have the thing, so that's you, right? Like, so I don't know. Jeff? We know what Signs Importance was about, but do you remember what your prediction was? Remember when we didn't know what it was about and we played the game where we made predictions? Do you remember what your prediction was?
I do. And just before we went on mic, we were talking about our predictions and how they're not just indicative of us trying to like weave the story together, but it's really what we were wanting to see. Like, I really hope this. And so that's mine. I thought this was going to further Sinclair's Minbari stuff going on, and that Delenn would probably find out that Sinclair knows what he knows. What did you predict?
I said this one was going to be all about the ambassadors, that basically it would foreshadow where we're going in seasons 2 through 5. And I said that based on the knowledge that it was the title episode of the season, right? That I called this is going to be the narrative hook of the show. And so I would ask, is this the narrative hook of the show? Let's save that answer for next week.
That's the question.
Are we still in the introduction stuff or the build up? Because there is a piece that, what do you want? Like, is this the thing that turns it? And if it's not here, then where is that narrative hook in the structure,
Yeah. That'll be fun to look at next week.
But I also posited a theory. We get our red yarn stuff going. My theory is that the Narn Centauri War was connected somehow to the Earth Minbari War, and it was the Vorlons pulling the strings.
Oh. Yeah, it's interesting. There was someone pulling some strings, right?
Well, and the Vorlons were not innocent.
No, there were no clean hands in that exchange at all.
Yeah.
Well, cool. This is going to be exciting when we watch this next week right here. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I've had such a great time. Brent, I'm sure you have too. Like this
Jeff,
time.
I'm sorry. Jeff, I'm sorry.
It's fun.
From our council chambers.
Oh, yeah,
I apologize. From our council chambers, our friend Delenn, speaking about next week's episode. So we have to remember to do this next week, okay?
Okay.
Signs Importance has my favorite Easter eggs. You need to pause and read the blue screens in the customs area. And I think next week, Jeff, would probably behoove us to really pay attention to as many details in the background and in that, like, to really almost study this episode. It would probably behoove us to do that.
Cool. That'd be fun.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Fine. I was just talking about how fun this has been, and you just added this is a thing. That's great. I'm so glad we're doing this.
This is why I love the second watch through.
Totally. Yeah. And I hope you all are loving it as well. If you do, leave us a rating or review. Even if you don't like it, go ahead and send us a 2-star rating. It's cool. Whatever. We love that you felt so moved to go onto your little thing and share your feedback with us. That was fantastic. But if you really want to make a difference in this show and help us out a whole lot, share this show with somebody who's not watching it right now. Let's get some more eyes on Babylon 5 for the first and second times. So until next time.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes, Brent, what is up?
Hey, you gonna do the thing?
The thing? What thing?
You know, the thing. I mean, Jeff, after all, you are the most senior official of the Bad Nerds here. It's the thing.
I am the most senior. Here, hold on. Let me just get a little incense in here. And ora se mina fosido frey monsignor.
I mean, we're not some deep space franchise. This station is about something.
That was Latin. This